Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This young lady is a ray of sunshine. Dan, it is Marissa Daniel, otherwise known as Marvelous, and I know why.
Marvelous. Yeah.
Marissa, how are you? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We are great. You know, she's one of the few people that I remember when she came into our office. I don't even know how she got in because we usually lock the door. I think she slipped somebody at 20. And
Probably can so.
And she came into the office and sat down and started telling us about herself. And she's just energy. If we could bottle that, Dan, we could retire.
We could.
Yeah.
We should also get names. Like she's got Marvelous Marissa. You could be Righteous Rick, and I'll be Dandy Dan or something like that. How's that?
Sounds good to me. It's so good to have you, Marissa. It is a pleasure to talk to you. I know you used to be a part of the promotions team, I guess, there with Fish in Salem, and you did that quite well. But you are moving out and moving up. Look at you. You host Atlanta Live on WATC from time to time, and you have your own show, which is called Broken into Beautiful. All right, let's get into this whole thing. How did this all start with you even wanting to go this direction? I mean, when are you going to break out of your shell, girl?
Well, I attended Clark Atlanta University and I studied mass media arts with a concentration in radio, TV, and film. And after graduation, I saw how I was having a difficult time getting a job in radio as well as in television. And I kind of got into a deep depression. But one thing about me, I have faith in God. And God really, He showed me. That situation helped me to become stronger because at that time I had to lean and depend on Him. And out of nowhere, God opened up doors for me 5 years later after graduation. He gave me favor with WATC. A lot of doors and a lot of opportunities were just shut and closed in my face. But, God would give you favor with people. That's in the word. He gives you favor with men. And I had an opportunity to start reciting the prayer room announcements at WATC, and it was only 30 seconds, but I did it faithfully every month to show God that I really wanted to do this. And I did it for 6 months. And after 6 months, I got a show with WATC called Broken into Beautiful. And I interviewed people who were once broken and they share how they God blessed them to being beautiful. I've interviewed Monica Pearson from WSB. I've interviewed Kiana Dancy from Sister Circle on TV1. And the show got really popular that I received the Girl Power Award from the Now Conference in 2018. Not only that, so really good opportunities came with Broken into Beautiful. Then I saw how I was getting booked for hosting and speaking engagements. And now this year, I'm really happy that I happened to publish my first book entitled From Brokenness to Marvelous.
Wow.
Broken to Marvelous. I love it.
Yeah.
So the show Broken into Beautiful, was it already going, or was this something that you had an idea for, or what?
I had an idea for, and I stepped out on faith. I had the meeting with the station manager, and he approved it, and it went on from there.
And so where did that idea come from? Was it from your brokenness, or where did that come from?
Yes, I basically I prayed to God. I knew that I wanted to do my own show. And I said, God, do I name it Marvelous Marissa? Do I name it The Marissa Show? And God ministered to me in my dreams. And he told me that, Marissa, you experience a lot of broken moments in your life, and I saw how God blossomed me from a broken little girl into a marvelous woman of God. So that's where I came with the title, Broken into Beautiful. Because we all got a broken story. I'm sure you guys do. So
We're
I just
broken.
That,
I mean,
So I just thought how that was a catchy title.
Yeah.
I love that. Although, now I'm not trying to take away from God here, but I love the Marissa Show. I think that has a ring to it. Maybe you should do 2 shows.
The Marvelous Marissa Show. Yes, 3M.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, love that. Marvelous Marissa here with us. Marissa Daniel, she's got a book. She's got a couple of shows. Well, she's got one show, and she fills in there on Atlanta Live. Okay, well, let's, it's in one sense, this is amazing to me that you would be able to get somebody like Monica Pearson Kaufman. I mean, she is so rock starish. Not that she wouldn't be on your show, but she'd be hard to get to. But then I know how you got a hold of Dan and I, so I'm sure. You can do anything. There's anybody. I mean, you can get anybody on your show. So, tell me a little bit about so far. What has really, really touched you? Whose story has really, really touched you and impacted you? Somebody you've interviewed.
Well, Monica Pearson, she spoke about the importance of forgiveness. She talked about how she had a struggle forgiving her father. And when he died, he was in the hospital. So basically, when she finally went into prayer and said, I forgive you, that's when he died. So it's like he was holding on, waiting for her to forgive him. But one particular story that really touched me was somebody who I interviewed. Her name was Nora Jones, the Nora Jones story. And she talked about how she overcame domestic violence, how that was a struggle for her. And so many women, even men, can relate to that. That almost brought me to tears. So everybody who I've interviewed always have an interesting story. And I learn from each and every one of them.
Marissa, who's on your bucket list for interviewing? Who's it like? Yes, this is it. If you get them to be on a show with you,
Rick and Dan, of course.
Besides Rick and Dan, of course, yeah.
Yes, of course. I would love to interview Rick and Dan, but I really want to interview next year, especially in 2021. I want to interview men because men have stories, and sometimes it's hard for a man to open up. So I really want my roll call list, especially next year, to be a lot of different men, different backgrounds, different nationalities, just different men. And I want to start interviewing little boys and girls as well, because we all have a story.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow. Now tell us how you went. Now, of course, Dan and I have been doing this for a long, long time. And we prep for each interview. How do you prep for your interviews, each one? How do you do back research, basically?
Well, I definitely do research on the individual that I'm interviewing. If they have a book out, I make sure I get my hands on that book at least 3 months in advance. I make sure I take notes. I always check their websites, their social media profile, and I really want to ask those questions. And I also look back on their past interviews, because I want to ask those questions that they're not used to being asked, a question that can take them off guard.
Yeah.
So that's how I prep for the show.
Yeah, our personalities take people off guard. That's what we lean on, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Marissa, tell us a little bit about the book. You just showed us the book there. Did that just come out? Has it been out for a little bit? What are you hearing from folks about it?
Yes, I published this book this year, June 16th, 2020.
It's a baby book then, yes.
Yes, the book is doing extremely well. It's based on my personal testimony. I talk about what I experienced as a child all the way up to now. And I was really nervous about this. I was nervous about backlash that I was going to probably receive. But to my surprise, a lot of students have reached out to me and told me, thank you for writing this book for us, Marissa. A lot of younger women have reached out to me, even older women. And I'm just so proud. I thought that the book was only going to be on Amazon, but the book is in libraries, it's in bookstores, it's in my hometown, Wisconsin, it's in East Chicago where my father is at. Wow. It's doing extremely well. It's even in my my alma mater, CAU, the school that I graduated from. It's in my college bookstore, as well as in my high school and Wisconsin bookstore. So it's doing really well. The reviews are great, and I don't want to cry, fellas, but I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life.
That's awesome.
Wow. Marissa, Daniel, marvelous Marissa. What a story. And girl, you're just, there's no end to what God's got for you to do. What do you think the apex, if you will be of marvelous Marissa? What is it? I know you've got the talk show and the books, and you just influence so many people, but, and Dan mentioned about the bucket list of your guests. But if you could fill in the blank, what would be the place you would really want to land?
I pray, if it's in God's will, I pray that Broken Into Beautiful will go national, because especially in today's society with the coronavirus, with the police brutality, with everything that's going on in the world. I think that this show is needed. I think that this show is needed for so many people. A lot of people are angry. People have lost their family members to the coronavirus. So much is going on. So I really want this show to blossom and to go international, global, because this show can really help people be delivered from any brokenness, any resentment, any anger, anything that's holding them back from their purpose. So I really want this show to go global, not for me to make myself known, but for God's people. Because it's not about me. It's about God. It's about Christ. And it's about all of us, our sisters and brothers in Christ, everyone.
You keep that perspective and God's going to use you big time, Marissa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Marissa Daniel, marvelous Marissa. All right, let's get down to this. We got to go to a break, but we want people to see you, read about you, and follow you because girl, you are a rocket. You're going into the sky. BrokenIntoBeautiful.live is the place to go to. They can get the book you mentioned at Amazon. It's in your even own hometown library, in your college library. Where else can they go? Well, that's your website. They can follow you on Facebook, maybe? Oh, you're too young for Facebook, probably, aren't you?
Yes, I'm on Facebook. I'm under Marvelous Marissa on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, Broken Into Beautiful Live, as well as Marvelous Marissa on the Go. I'm also on Twitter as Future Talk Show. The book is here in Georgia as well. It's in Nubian Bookstore in Morrow, Georgia, as well as All Things Inspiration Giftique in Mapleton, Georgia. So you can definitely find this book.
All right.
And the television show, when does it air?
Yes, I air on WATC, and my shows is also on my website as well on BrokenIntoBeautiful.live.
All right. She's amazing. Watch her.
Thank you.
She's marvelous. Yes,
she is. She definitely is. What a great name. Marvelous Marissa Daniel. Marissa, thank you so much. Blessings to you. We got to take a break.
Fellas.
We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.